Hello, everybody. We had a
Hello.
little technical difficulty of the log out. You know what? Maybe we're not the best at tech, but I always have this argument. Social media, not tech.
Yes, very true. It also never fails that whenever you try to, something's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
So,
I've been having to reset and reboot everything lately, so it's just like one thing after the other. But we have a pretty good amount of content to cover today. So we're really just gonna like rock and roll through this. We know that a lot of people aren't gonna be able to jump onto this webinar live. And so they're gonna be joining us probably next week after the 3.5 day weekend and going from there. So with that being said, for those of you who don't know, my name is Katie. I own Western Insights Media, and we are a fractional chief marketing officer style of business. That means we come in and we specialize in large Western based events and membership-based agricultural and natural resource associations. So we do marketing management that's completely comprehensive, or we also do support on one-off projects, be it like influencer marketing, email marketing, or content strategy consulting, anything like that. So all the boring stuff, but all the fun stuff at the same time. Boring to talk about, fun to do.
I'm Madeline Gasky, also known as the Branded Maverick. And similar to Katie, it's kind of fun that we can work together because we both work on similar projects. But with the Branded Maverick, I basically provide custom tailored marketing solutions. And I also serve as an executive assistant for several different Western industry leaders. So it's kind of fun to put our brains together, see how we can help others in the industry. There's room for everyone. And I'm gonna be honest, Katie, I mean, I've enjoyed every single one of these webinars, but for me, this one is super exciting. Katie and I bonded over the fact we didn't know that we both use Metricool, and we bonded over the fact that we both use Metricool, and it has been a game changer for the both of us. So I think it's fair to say we are super stoked about this webinar.
Absolutely. And like one of the things that I always talk about is like Metricool without a doubt. Like we can like recommend all sorts of stuff. Like you can recommend Canva, but somebody's gonna like Adobe Pro better. You can recommend Adobe Pro for a Premiere for like editing videos, and someone's gonna say no, CapCut, Final Cut Pro, like whatever it is. But without a doubt, if you use Metricool, you recommend Metricool, and it's like the funniest thing ever because I'll see in like comments in groups where like people that I've recommended Metricool to are like, you have to use Metricool when it comes to content scheduling. And I think the thing is like I think there are maybe more robust programs out there for scheduling, but when it comes to price point and the return on the investment on both time and money, Metricool is like unbeatable in my opinion.
Yes, 100%. It is a game changer. So we're excited you guys have joined us. Well, you ready to hop into it, Katie?
Yeah, I mean, like, let's just go for it. There's a lot of content here. So, for anyone who's on here, at the end of it, we'll do question and answers. But at any point in time, you can drop your questions in the chat on the side and we will see it and we'll throw it up on the screen. We'll answer them as we go. We're going to go over some, like, what is Metricool, like a little bit in content strategy, because I feel like you got to have some fundamentals when it comes to content in order to be able to schedule content that, cart before the horse before the cart kind of thing. And then we're going to do a case study live like we always do. So you guys can actually see us working. And then we will do a 10-minute question and answer at the end and discuss all your freebies that you can get from our email list.
So a little bit about Metricool. Obviously, this is kind of an all-in-one tool in the fact that it lets you not only schedule social media, but manage it as well as monitor the success of all of your digital content. So it has a full analytics tool as well, which is really handy, especially if you're managing multiple brands. So whether it's one brand or multiple brands, you don't have to log out and log back in. You can manage it all from one space, which is really, really nice. We'll show you guys when we get into it, but there's so many features that Katie and I have learned we don't even use all the features, and it's been a life.
That's like 2 points of it. And then we're in like process of getting ready for these webinars. Like we should probably make an episode on the random things that we've learned, just a deep dive to know them better. But what's so funny is like we're obsessed with like the scheduling portion of it and like the analytics portion of it, and then we got so deep in like all these other things, like stuff Madeline uses it for that I didn't use it for, and vice versa, like competitor analysis, and then like the fast links. And I was like, who are we and why are we not using these to the most of our ability? So it's even improved our game in the last 2 weeks preparing for this webinar to show you guys how to use it. So it's really fun.
Yes. So There are different versions. If you guys, we'll send a link out after this as well if you want to check out Metricool. But there are different versions. So there is a free version. Obviously, the free version you are limited. But as Katie said, this is one tool that we both highly suggest investing in. It's not a big investment at all, and so check it out. Check out the pricing. It's definitely 110% worth it. Uh, because this is going to save you so much time in the long run, especially when you apply all the other tools that we've kind of shared with you along the way.
Yeah, this like definitely like the way we've like set these webinars up. Again, we did like a marketing present. We like did this. No, we did a marketing presentation for AI tools, and as a process, these were like the four most popular ones, and these are the foundations that you need. So we've already covered design with Canva. We've already covered Chat GPT for content and copy. So obviously, a natural progression from there is taking your designs and taking your copy and then putting it, scheduling it out, and batch working it. And so with all of that, we did send out a survey as we always do because again, this is all live. So whatever you guys need to have to help you out with it, this is what we do. And so with that, most people said that they were on Facebook and then Instagram. So obviously, like Meta is king. That doesn't surprise me at all in the US. It's kind of what we anticipate seeing. When it came to frustrations, it was creating engaging content, consistency, and navigating multiple platforms. So we kind of touched on the first 2 points leading up to this with the creating engaging content and the design section. Consistency, you can use your Chat GPT or Claude, as you guys all know from last 2 weeks ago. Madeline and I had a heavy debate on which is the better LLM. And then navigating multiple platforms. So, like Madeline mentioned, you can actually just move between platforms as well as between brands, even like businesses, like accounts. So you can move back and forth in Metricool really easy. We're going to show you how to do all of that. And then the time consuming one was actually engagement. So I totally get that. And that's always a challenging portion. And this is actually something that I think Madeline and I both don't actually use Metricool for in regards to it. But you can use it for it. So just kind of however you want to create a better system for that. But we are all ready to jump into all of this. And I do think the free version of Metricool, you can have up to 3 accounts, I believe, on it, but you can't run all of your like ad suites and stuff in there. And then additionally, just so you guys know, we are not paid by Metricool, Canva, or ChatGPT to do these and to promote them. This is just the stuff that we're using that we're paying for and that we promote. But I will let you know that we have a referral code for Metricool that will give you a discount off that Madeline, because I'm going to send out her link, will get a commission on for this one. And the same will go for our email next week. So just so you guys know, full transparency.
Yes. And another reason, so I dropped it in the comments. If you guys want to go in the comments, tell us what you usually use to schedule your social media right now, just so we can kind of have an idea of what you have worked with. If you haven't used anything, that's okay. That's going to help us too, because I know some people do it day by day. Some people are just trying to figure out the best way to navigate all the different social mediums. So let us know. One thing for me personally is Meta is a great free tool to schedule in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're managing multiple brands or even just a single brand, you only can schedule out 28 days at a time. So it really limits you as far as how far ahead you can work or plan. So Metricool is really cool because if I have an idea for Memorial Day for 2026, I can jump to 2026 and I can put that idea down so I remember it when I get to that time next year. So kind of a handy feature with Metricool.
Ooh, I see a Hootsuite mentioned in the comments here from Oregon FFA.
Okay.
You know what? Oh my gosh, I remember the days when Hootsuite was king. We used it for county stuff. I used it for cattlemen's. I used it for my personal. This to me, Metricool is actually like almost a more visually aesthetically pleasing version of Hootsuite as like, and I don't think I ever used Hootsuite to like its full potential, but if you could use Hootsuite and if you enjoyed it, you'll probably like Metricool even more. And before we jump into that, we're gonna do a little bit of like the content breakdown, just so when we talk about different aspects here, it'll help you guys out with this. Ooh, Loomly, I've seen that one too. So we've got Facebook, Instagram, Canva, Meta, Hootsuite, Loomly, all over the board. I love this. This is fun.
Perfect. Yes. So it'll be exciting to hear what you guys think when we show you Metricool. So to start with content breakdown, one thing that Katie and I both totally agree with starting that'll help you when it comes to scheduling is having content pillars. Essentially, all that is what you're going to talk about, right? So these are your core themes, basically the foundational topics that you create content around consistently, and they're going to align with your brand's purpose, as well as your audience interest. So that could be community impact. That could be maybe your rodeo's heritage. Maybe it's sponsor recognition or event promotion and volunteer appreciation. Um, there's all sorts of different content pillars that you can use. You can also use Claude or ChatGPT to help you come up with those, but those are going to help you with the consistency factor. So you're not sitting there going, I don't know what to post today.
Yeah, for sure. And the next one that we do off the content pillars is what we call the target audience, which is who you're talking to. So, content pillar, what you talk about, target audience, who you're talking to. And this is a very specific group of people that you're trying to reach. And each group has unique needs, values, behaviors, etc. I love Amy Porterfield's ideal client avatar, which is where I give people names. And that might sound crazy, but I'll be like, hey, I have a Charlie. And Charlie is 55 years old. He's got kids that are upper high school. He's middle class, upper class. He grew up on a farm doing FFA 4-H, but he lives in suburbia now, makes his money off the farm. He's country adjacent, probably has a Jeep Wrangler for funsies from the old days in his garage, but drives a commuter car on the daily. Like, that's who I'm talking to. So that's always fun. And you can, again, use Chat or Claude to help you kind of create these profiles for people. I've even had it make me pictures of them. And I'm like, here is Charlie. And we're talking to Charlie today. I also feel like I just described Bella's dad off Twilight for anyone who gets that reference. And we'll go with that. So anyway, having your target audience of who you're talking to, really important. So this can be local families with kids, can be your rodeo athletes and fans, can be small business sponsors, volunteer committee members. Again, target audience, who you're talking to.
All right, so you have your pillars, you have your audience, and then obviously you're going to look at your campaign. That's why you're talking to them. So it's a campaign, just to simply put it, is basically a timely, goal-driven series of content that's built around a specific event or outcome. So that could be increasing ticket sales. Maybe you're trying to recruit volunteers. Maybe you're celebrating an anniversary, or maybe you're promoting summer vacation, right? This is why you're talking to them, and it's going to help you. We're going to tie all three of these together today. We're going to show you how that works.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, how does it work together? Content pillars, what you talk about, target audience, who you're talking to, campaigns, why you're talking to them right now. So I feel like the big thing on campaigns is the timely factor, like this, like the SMART goals kind of part, the measurable.
Yes.
And so with that, you're going to combine it all together. So let's say if we're doing let's do early bird tickets, like for a summer rodeo. I know we've got rodeos and guest ranches and stuff, and nonprofits are all in here, but we're going to do campaign early bird tickets for the summer rodeo. So your target audience of who you're talking to, that's going to be local families and rodeo fans. Your campaign goal is going to be to drive early ticket sales, and the content pillars, so what you're talking about, are going to be event promotion, dates, pricing, behind the scenes, community impact, how the rodeo supports local organizations, and then Western lifestyles, like photos, reels, stories, and like to create the vibe, create the hype and the culture that you want to have there. So each piece is going to align with a pillar to stay on brand. It's going to be customized for a target audience, so speak to their language. And then with that serves the campaign goal, which is to drive action. So your CTA, or call to action. And this might seem like a lot. Don't worry. In the freebies, we have a workbook. We were making jokes that the workbook we can combine from all four of these is going to be an actual book, not a workbook. It's going to be a textbook. But you guys will get the workbook on these. Probably by early next week. My executive assistant's finishing them up right now, but it'll have this breakdown for you. So don't stress about writing this down. But again, this YouTube video is live, so you can always pull it at any point you need. So they're all going to work together, and that is a great way to start building out all of your content. And I'm a big fan of batch working.
Yes. So when it comes to smart scheduling strategy, sometimes it gets really overwhelming because you're like, I have all this content, or maybe you still don't have your content and you're going to work on that, but you're like, how often do I post? And the term both Katie and I talked about, we get heard thrown around with different clients, is like, well, the algorithm's just not working for me. Or
Like
I
a
just,
darn
I just think,
algorithm.
yeah, the darn algorithm. It just isn't working for me. I understand. That's a valid concern. The thing with the algorithm is that it's constantly changing, right? But it's not as scary as you think. And here's why. So, just based on kind of research for 2025, let's just take Instagram and Facebook right now. Okay. Your three most important kind of ranking signals for 2025 that Facebook is going to use to kind of pull the top, posts and put those in front of your audience is watch time, how many likes you get, and then sends. So basically, they're focusing on content that just keeps people engaged and encourages sharing. So when you're coming up with these content ideas, those are kind of your behind the scenes focus, right? What's going to get people engaged and what's going to make them want to share it. When it comes to Facebook, 2025 research shows that they're driving more to video this year. So Facebook's going to prioritize posts that spark conversations, and they generate meaningful interactions between users. So that kind of gives you an idea of what content will help you when it comes to the algorithm. But more than that, the main thing when it comes to avoiding the stress of trying to work with the algorithm is consistency. I think Katie would agree with me 100%. It doesn't matter if you're posting every single day, if you're posting once a week, or if you're posting 3 times a day. Be consistent in doing it, and that'll help kind of train your audience, so to speak, as to when they can expect to see your material.
100%. And that's like the thing is like, also my cat is really just joining this presentation right now. She's a ham for the camera. Yeah, she's getting up on the, she's right here. This is Lainey Wilson, my cat. So with that, I think one of the most important things is like, I also think time is important on that consistency. Like if you're posting once a week, post once a week, but like if like post every Tuesday at 5, like get a consistent time because you're also gonna start reaching the people that you want to reach with that too. And I've seen that more like with TikTok, for example. Like I always post at the same time on TikTok and I see way better results than if I get wild and like post at a different time. So it's always crazy with how that works. But the other thing that's a big part of this, 2 parts, is I know we've mentioned batch working and we talked about it in Canva. Like have a template, batch work it out. And what that means is that you just spend 30 minutes, like Pomodoro method, like you just set a timer and for 30 minutes, you do all the content for the next 6 features or the next 6 months or the next 6 weeks, like whatever it looks like in regards to that template. And then additionally, I'm a big fan of repurposing content across platforms. So I usually will pick one piece of content that I know is going to be the heavy hitting form. So for me, like plan it all out, right? So for me, it's going to be, like a blog, like that Western Life podcast. So I'm going to really focus on the main content, which is the audio of that podcast. And then I'm going to break it down into the blog. And I'm going to take that blog and break that blog down into X number of, I need to make sure my cat doesn't sit on the mouse here and shake up the shake up the live stream. So from there, I'll take the blogs, make them to social media posts and make them into sound bites for TikTok, maybe make Pinterest. A sound bite for TikTok could be a reel, could also be a story. And then I just drop everything in and schedule it. Like I schedule all of it right then, 27 pins scheduled, everything scheduled, which is just makes your life so much easier. But I will say, like, I definitely have like a case study that kind of proves this point a little bit, which is that I had a client that, like almost randomly put tickets on sale. And like this is a client that when we did like the ticket launch, they had like 4 or 5 events and we dropped them all at once and pretty much sold out. It felt like for like each of their events that they had, all the standalone events. And then from there, they're like, oh, we're going to add another day on the end of this series. And at the end of that series, they added one, same frequency, same everything, but then like didn't talk about it. I didn't even know it was happening until I saw it on the news in the Google event. So I was like, oh no. And so with that, really struggled to sell tickets for that event. But once we kind of started getting it back into our routine, went way better. So there is so much to it and plan it out. So that could be the difference between selling out in 24 hours and people messaging you, not sure if it's a scam or not. So a lot of fun stuff there.
For sure. Having a plan having a plan just helps you in general. So 100%. Great example there, Katie.
I know I'm like monologuing about like, I'm like, and don't leave your social media person out of the campaign. Like, don't forget that. Like, that's the first place that people kind of go these days to like look to verify things. And I was just going to throw out here, people are jumping in here and trying to say like, some people are trying to get social media marketing going for their event, but you just don't really have much. I totally understand that. Some are typically 2 to 3 times per week consistently, and during events are more. That's also really common as well. I do have heat maps for event-based clients that like we are hotter, more frequent leading up to the event, during the event, and even post-event. I'm very big on like wean it up, wean it off, right? Like don't just go, if that makes sense.
Right,
Sound
right.
effects included.
Perfect. Well, do you want to get into the case study?
Yeah, let's do the case study. I'm going to get Madeline's screen on here.
Right.
My cat's like fighting with my mouse. So my cat's name is Lainey Wilson because I found her at a music festival when Lainey Wilson was playing. So that's why her name is Lainey.
That's so
She's
funny.
extra.
Okay, so for the case study, just so we don't have any conflict of interest, we're going to use my personal event, which is the DTG Tagged Out Memorial Ranch Rodeo. The page is for DTG Tagged Out, which is a nonprofit association. And just a little backstory here. So this page, it's been around, but it's been
We need to
stagnant.
call ourselves out right now because we've laughed about this a lot.
We do, yeah. We're just going to call ourselves out. We do really good at marketing for you guys. Our personal stuff, not so much.
Really
Back
bad.
burner.
We can't stop laughing about it. To be like the getting ready for this, we were both wholly embarrassed that we don't market our own companies. Like if you guys look at Mustard Insights Media, the only thing we've ever posted about were these webinars. So there's
Yeah.
that.
So backstory, we didn't have really anything going on this page. And then in the last 6 months, we decided, you know what, we're going to put on this event. So we started posting just one time a day, and it was Wednesdays. And we just would take a quote from Dustin, who it's a memorial for, and we'd put it over a picture that came from his phone. He was a hunter, so we had a lot of outdoors photos that we could use. And we just started posting on Wednesdays just to get people following. And so in less than less than 3 months, we've gotten up to about 1,000 followers on our Facebook page. So in Metricool, when you log in, you can go to your main calendar, which you're looking at here, and there are several different planning features that I'm going to try to walk you through. Katie's going to kind of help me keep on track because there are so many. But so this is my personal favorite view to start with, because what I like to do when you go to your calendar view here, you can see you can look at the day, you can look at the week, you can look at the month. I start with the month. And for me, like Katie said, doing batch work, I'll go in and I'll show you June here because we just had our event last weekend. I went in and I already used ChatGPT to give me my my prompts or my text, and basically I dropped those in as drafts. Okay, so now I can see it physically on a calendar. I'm going to post 3 times a week, and I know what topics I'm going to post, so I can go in and edit those from there. But today we're going to edit one for this coming week. So, a really cool feature with social calendars is that sometimes it's fun to post things that are on theme with what's happening, right? You can put in a social media calendar, and you can see here it added these dates. So I know
National
Armed
Brothers Day is
Forces
coming
Day.
up this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, National Brothers Day is this weekend. It tells me Memorial Day. So obviously I've got a post for Memorial Day scheduled. So you can kind of have fun with that, and it'll help you kind of with some content creation ideas if you want to go with national days.
And I was
Another
gonna
cool
throw in
thing.
there to add just to pipe in on that one is like I'll look at that and like for like my music festival client, like I looked through this and I saw National Brothers Day and immediately was like, do I have any brothers that are playing at our music festival? And I was like, I do. So last week I just sent an email out that was like, can you guys send me some content? Here's like 3 questions you guys can answer. And then I'm like, oh, National Burger Day. I have another client. It's a barbecue contest. And I'm like, mass email, like, can all of you send me your favorite burger you've ever made? Like, we'll put a picture together. So it actually helps you kind of plan out because you can go a month ahead and see all of these different days in there as well.
100%. Yep, I do the same thing. Or if there's a national day that somehow ties into a sponsor that I'm needing to promote, it's a perfect way to just kind of
Sunday's
make a
National Wine Day. So if
yeah.
anybody's got an official wine sponsor, I sent mine emails and said, hey, let's talk about great views we should have this Sunday.
Yes. So that is a really handy feature. Also, Katie and I just decided that
We did.
we did just decide this. We're going to give you guys a free Western themed content calendar that you can drop in here. So you can add a calendar, and what
We'll
we'll
send you the
do is we'll
link.
provide it to you. We'll give you the link. You just drop it in, and you can turn it on, and it'll show up in your calendar. So if you guys use Metricool, we're going to send you some fun things, some fun themes for you to drop into your calendars for ideas as your content scheduling.
We were like, why not? National Day of the Horse. Maybe like we might even put in. Actually, you know what? Let us know in the comments if you guys are interested. We could actually put a calendar together that would give you, I guess, some suggestions of things to start thinking about as well. It would
Yes.
just show up on your calendar there. Like start thinking about NFR campaigns or your holiday campaigns or spring break plans or whatever it may be for like our guest ranches that are there. So there's a lot of options we can do to kind of pre-build that for you, and you can just upload it for free into your Metricool calendar.
Yes. So let us know in the comments. Another cool feature with Metricool is that with Instagram, and by the way, here I'm just logged in on this page to Facebook and Instagram. I'll show you all the things you guys can link to here shortly. You can preview your feed. So if you're trying to get like a general look, you can, and obviously this Instagram's very low. Like I said, we have a lot more interaction on our Facebook page, but I can kind of see what my scheduled posts are going to look like. So this is my Memorial Day post that I have scheduled. So if you're looking for, a lot of people like to have their, you know, their screen to look a nice way, you can check it out there. All right. Now we're going to show you a really cool AI feature that is so helpful because a lot of times it's like, I don't know what time to post. I mean, people are on social media all the time. When's the best time to post, right? So when you go to your calendar view, you can go to the day or week. I'm going to go to the week here.
This is my favorite
And
thing, by the way. I'm a very visual person, so this is one of my favorite things about Metricool.
yes. So I have this post on next Wednesday that I need to schedule, but I'm not really sure when the best time to post is. So I can basically turn on the best times to post and show it as a percentage right here. And it'll tell me the best time to post. And Katie has a really cool trick that she uses when it comes to this feature.
Yeah. So one of the things I love the percentages on there, so I do have them on. And then whichever account is doing better, and it could honestly be whatever account's doing better at that time too. Like if you're like, hey, I'm cooking on Facebook right now, like things are going good, I'll leave it at Facebook. I've had clients that have been really doing really well on Instagram that recently, like Facebook's just been really beneficial for me lately. Like I feel like the creators are really taking over on Instagram. And so for me, I put it on Facebook. And what I do is I look at this map for the darkest point or the highest percentage. And then what I do from there is I just click 30 minutes to an hour before, and that's when I post it. And the reason for that is it's going to get your post scheduled, published, and then live all in the moments leading up to your person getting onto social media. So what happens with that one is that they're going to get on, see your post near the forefront, engage with it right away. Again, we're not too worried about the algorithm, but what this is going to do is tell the algorithm that the people who follow you do care. So the people that follow the people who follow you will probably also care and push you into their feed as well. So that is my theory. Just rule of thumb, 1 hour, 30 minutes, right before the hottest point on your map. That's when you want to schedule that post for that day.
Yes. And I can say I usually started with an hour before and I found success with that. So um, play with it, see if an hour or half an hour before is going to work. So looking at my map, like I said, obviously most of our interactions on Facebook, apparently all my followers, they are scrolling their social media 100% at 6 p.m. at night on Wednesday. So I'm going to go ahead and schedule this post that I want at 5:30. So I've got my draft in here. I'm just going to click it. Um, I'm going to set my time for 5:30. Okay. And as you can see, I've already put in my copy for this that I had pre-planned using Claude. And I've tagged my photographer. And I'm going to show you guys how you can tag on both Instagram and Facebook on here. Okay. My photographer only uses Instagram, so I've just dropped her Instagram name right here. Um, so I've got my text. I need to add a picture. So we're honoring our Top Hand Award winner. I'm going to add my multimedia. Really cool feature here. If you have Canva, you can link your Canva. If you're using Google Drive, you can link your Google Drive. A lot of times, if I have clients that share their pictures with me, I'll link their Google Drive, which helps me a lot. And
And
then
that also
also,
can work. I was just gonna add there for the Google Drive. That can work really well if you're a small team and you have interns or people that are out at different events. You can just give them a folder in Google Drive that they can just upload from their phone, and you got it right there.
yes, ma'am. Yep. And then you can obviously, they have stock things that you can use as well. I'm going to make this a carousel post. I'm going to use 2 images. Um, and for my top hand, this is my top hand. And I'm also going to include this picture of him in action. So now I have 2 posts. I want the award picture to be first on this case because I'm going to acknowledge my sponsors. So I just moved it over there. And you'll see it tells me, hey, you have an error. You can't post this because you have an invalid aspect ratio for Instagram. So obviously, I'm going to go here. You can edit with Adobe Express, or they have an in house editing option. So that's what I'm going to use here. I'm going to make it a square post. Go ahead and save that.
You can also
Apparently, I didn't
use
hit it.
when you're doing it. You can also use the pre-made forms and ratios. I don't know if you've used that before, but like the top right corner, that one.
No,
No, oh, right there.
this one.
Yep, click that,
Oh.
and then I want to do
Guys, I just
portrait.
learned something new.
Well, you can go over to portrait if you want to, and then you can do the 4x5 Instagram portrait. So see the little squares at the top. Go up to the right.
Oh, oh, there
Yeah,
we go.
yeah, and then boom,
Oh
and
my
then
goodness,
look at
you
that.
guys.
Just
Katie just
the weird
made my
stuff.
life so much easier.
It's okay. We're about to talk
There
to
you
you guys about
go.
smart links, which is what I learned about from Madeline. Like I said, we've learned a lot about this program. It's great.
We have. So that just made my life even easier now that I know I can do that. So Montana doesn't have social media, so I'm not going to be able to tag him, but I do want to tag my sponsors for this event. And so I've obviously put in Colorado Horse Sale. I'm going to tag them on Facebook. You'll just do an @ and your page does have to be following them. Let's see if it'll work right now. There we go. I'll just hit enter. So that's my Facebook tag. I'm going to grab their Instagram handle really quick. Okay. That's their Instagram. It'll automatically tag them on Instagram. I'm going to do the same for Strawberry Roan. Oops, I saw her just a second ago. Hit enter there, and then I'm going to drop in her Instagram as well.
And would you need to delete the Colorado horse sale, the first one, so it doesn't repeat twice?
I will. Yep.
I actually just learned because when I started with Metricool, you couldn't tag Facebook pages, and in like the nature of things, we were talking about this, and I'm like, the one thing it doesn't do that I wish it did was tag Facebook pages. And Madeline was like, I do it every day. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So just to call myself on that one.
So before I fix this error that you guys are seeing here, I'm going to add my hashtags in. Really cool thing. It'll remember common hashtags that you use, or you can save hashtags as well or search for popular hashtags. I'm going to use my regular hashtags that we use here. You can see it's pulling up ones that we use regularly. So that saves you a lot of time. So there's just some that I'm going to add in. Another really cool feature, you can add the first comment. So when it posts, it'll automatically show that you commented on something. So that's a really neat feature that you can use. You can also do the location. You can do a URL generator for campaigns, which we'll show you in just a second. If you're paying for some of the upper ones, you can generate your post. It has a built-in AI assistant in it, which is really, really neat. So now I have this pretty much wrote up, but I'm getting this error. Your Instagram can't contain Facebook mentions. So now I can edit by network up top. I'm going to choose to edit the Facebook one first, and I'm going to take out my Instagram tags so I'm not repeating myself. Okay. And then I'm going to edit my Instagram. And I'm going to do the exact opposite. I'm going to take out my Facebook tags. All right. I've got my time set. Um, what else am I missing, Katie?
I guess one big one that I like to do is doing the invite collabs on Instagram too. So I do a lot of work with photographers in like a like community or cultural aspect. And so at the bottom in your Instagram presets, you can actually do an invite collab in there if you want to. I
Yes,
don't know if it fits
perfect.
for this one, but you just add collaborator right there, and then you just type in their user handle. So just like no spaces, no nothing, just exactly how it's written. Mine always tries to autofill a password in there. I don't know why, but you can just put that in and then hit add, and it will send them an invite collab. So that works
Yeah,
well with like a sponsor activation or campaign that you might need.
yeah. Which I'm not going to tag them on this or collaborate with them on this post, but you can also boost that post directly from here, which is pretty neat too. So now that I have all this set, I'm going to show you a really cool feature here. It shows you a preview. So I can see what it's going to look like on Instagram, and I can see how it's going to show up on Facebook. Really handy. I've got my time set. I can either save this as a draft, I can publish now, or I can schedule. And then obviously, if you're paying for the highest level, if you have a team, you can send it for review, which is really nice. So we're going to go ahead and schedule that. I'm sorry, y'all. It's been really windy here, so it's going to take a second for my internet.
One of the things that's fun too is if you like pre-make all of these as well. I know like Madeline opened it up and changed the time on it. I'm a big proponent. You can also grab and drag it to the time that you want it
Yes.
at. So if you like, you can always do that too on that scheduler. So I see our draft up there. You can just click it, hold it with your left click, and then drag it down to the heat map.
Yep. Yeah. So I do that quite often as well. All right. So that's a quick example of how you can make a post. Obviously, I'm going to show you just in this example here. You can change if you're posting a story or a reel. You can do that. And then, guys, look at all these things that you can manage from here. Oh my goodness, what a lifesaver. It's not just Facebook and Instagram. You can now manage pretty much everything you can think of, which is
And
awesome.
my one rule of thumb too is like if you get Metricool, get it set up, have like 5 posts that you're ready to do, and just do them right off the bat. Because I really believe that doing them is what's going to make it really comfortable for you. Like do it once, it's going to feel good. Do it twice, do it 3 times, do it 4, do it 5. By the time you do it 5 times in a row, you're going to be moving so quick and you're going to feel really confident. Like it's such a good confidence builder when it comes to your social media marketing. And then that's my recommendation. Just spend some time an
Yeah.
hour and a half, like once a week
Yes.
or once every other week or twice a week, maybe whatever you guys need for frequency, and just do it. Again, it'll build your confidence faster than you know. And I'm speaking that from we do consulting. We have like consulting packages, and we like do these training programs with people, and we meet every week, and I'll make people go through. We'll do all the content, and then we'll do all the scheduling, and it's so fun watching the confidence get poured into people for it, and then seeing them have that success that's going to happen when you're using these analytics that the AI is giving you right off the bat.
Of course. So that's just like one feature, you guys. That's just scheduling. We haven't even gotten to like half of the other stuff. So one other feature that I love using is smart links.
This is
How
the one
many
I
of
didn't
you,
know about.
yeah, a lot of people use like Linktree, or they try to find ways to link stuff in their Instagram, TikTok. I'm trying to think what else uses links there, but smart links, if you have Metricool, you can build it out and you can do it to match your colors and everything. So this is my header. It's going to show information about my foundation. And then I've built in smart links. So now if you were to go to my Instagram profile and you clicked, the link that I have in there, it's going to take you here so you can promote your primary thing. So if I have ticket sales, I'm going to put that on top. And I'm going to show you, you can edit your buttons here. So right now, learn more about DTG tagged out is top. Before that, like I said, we had our event last weekend. I had my entry link on top. I had my ticket link on top. So you can change those. It makes it really easy. And you can also track analytics to see. I mean, you can see that I have deleted ones that we were testing and playing with, but you can track your analytics. Obviously, this is for after the event, so you're not seeing anything there. Um, let's see if we can do just to see. And I may have set these up different, honestly, but I do know I had link clicks somewhere. Katie and I were
Oh, they
playing
did
with them.
exist at one point. We did see those. I can vouch
Yeah,
for
we
that.
did. We did at one point because we were
Because I was
playing with
blown
them.
away as someone who like will make web page landing pages that are like the link in bio, and I'm like, oh, I could have just had it in Metricool this whole time. Like that's cool.
You can also attach any other social media links that you want to add in here. You can add some media and you can customize the colors so it fits your brand. So those are smart links. Another really neat feature is I can manage all of my communications for every single social media that I have linked in right from here. Sometimes it's easier, obviously, just to communicate with them directly from whatever social media you're on. But this is a nice way to just kind of log in every day, answer questions, respond to people, all that good stuff. You can also create and manage your ads directly from here. So, right here, you can see I ran some ads. Um, these were just through Meta. I didn't have my Google Ads account tied in here, but you can see they'll do recommendations, keywords, all sorts of neat features. So, you're not having to hop around between Meta Business and here. It's all in one place. And
And then my
then
favorite
when we
page
get
as an analytics nerd.
yeah, yes. So this is my summary. Um, you guys can see we've grown followers. I have my web page linked. So what's really cool here is that which again, this is for May, so you can change your dates. You can also do real time if you wanted. But I have my web page linked, and when we were in the heat of our event, let's see if I can get it to show up, you guys. Katie, I'm not sure why it's not showing up, and it might be because my um, internet is fighting with me today.
Oh yeah.
But um,
Hey, as
it
long
might
as
be,
it
which
doesn't
I
kick you off the
apologize,
live.
guys. We did practice this and it did work, but it would show me the pages and what links were working and where people, like basically, I could track my customer journey through that, which is really handy. Um, I can look at specifically my Facebook and see how I'm doing there. You can look at how many people you've acquired. These are all the analytics that they pull directly from Meta as well. And then you can tie in any of these accounts that you guys are needing, which is really, really neat.
So like I really enjoy this. Like probably my podcast is the most robust, and because I use my podcast for like testing, beta testing everything. But like website, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, which I love that they still call X Twitter, and then from there I have a LinkedIn, Pinterest, Google Ads, YouTube. Like everything is connected in there, and so it's nice just to be able to go in and like think of when you're scheduling. Like when I went to schedule like a reel, right? I'm like TikTok, YouTube Short, Pinterest, like it goes everywhere at once, and I'm like thank heavens. And
Yes.
Instagram story.
Which, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just to say, like, that's where I was at. Like, I think the only thing that we've talked about, like, is you have to upload an Instagram story as is. I think is like the only thing we found a fault so far with it. But Madeline's
Yes.
smart and will build the whole thing out. Like, you can't add music to it and stuff like that. Like, you could do in house. So take that for what you will. But it's great to be able to schedule it out as well.
Yes. The other cool thing is with our clients, sometimes you need to submit a report or you just need a report to, for whatever reason. You can go ahead and automate it so it'll automatically send you the reports when you want them. You can download a PDF. It looks really pretty and cool here. It's a great way to present to a board or whoever you need to present to. You can also do a hashtag tracker. Right now, I don't have any of that set in here. I just have my hashtag saved. But you can see it's showing just kind of examples here of saved hashtags for you to look at. When you get to brand settings, you'll see here, this is where you're going to connect all of your different tools that you're going to use. So you've got your connections. I've got my brand settings. This is where I can change my photo, what I want it to look like, all that good stuff. All right. I'm going to go back to my Facebook page.
This
This is a cool tool.
This is
I don't
another
know.
exciting one. But I was
Yeah.
going to say, just to interject, we laughed pretty hard because this is part of the issue why we couldn't show like client stuff. Just, I mean, mainly for the clients themselves, we would check with them first. But also, there is a competitor analysis, which we
Yeah.
maybe don't want to tell everybody who our competitors are.
Yeah, so this is a competitor analysis. Just for an example, I don't have a competitor for this event. It's a nonprofit, it's a fundraiser. But if you wanted to kind of see how your competitors are doing and see what's working for them, this is a great way to do that. Now, just as a reminder, we do not want you to copy. Copying your competitor is not the goal here. Okay. This is just going to kind of serve to give you ideas, kind of view what's worked for your competitors, and understand how your brand is comparing to other ones in your industry. So please don't just copy their posts. They're putting a lot of time into those too.
This
But
could
we're
be
going to just
this could be
give
like
you an
posting.
example of what this looks like.
Well, I was gonna say too, like while you pull this up, is that like this could be like posting frequency. That's what I use it for a lot. As bad as it sounds, sometimes I need validated that I'm posting the right amount. And I'm like, okay, my competitors are getting X amount of engagement and they're posting this frequency, and this is where I'm at. Like just kind of benchmarking where you're at with them, where you're like, okay, maybe I'm posting a little bit more, but my engagement's higher. Like that's a good win, right? Or maybe I'm posting less and my engagement's higher. Or maybe I'm posting 4 times as much and my engagement's lower. Like maybe we need to look a little bit closer at how to develop better content. And the reason we put the whole like don't copy is that weirdly Metricool makes it easy to like literally copy their content, which is why we went to disclaimer, don't do that.
Yes. So obviously, it's not going to pull up the stats here at the moment, but this is what it would look like. So you guys get the idea. So I just put in a Mountain States Ranch Rodeo. Again, not really a competitor for me. They're a sanctioned event, but just for an example. So I can see their page growth. I'm going to see what posts are published in a certain period based on what I set. You can see the list of posts. So this is a really cool way. You can add a bunch of different competitors that you want to view in. And you can also mark a competitor as a favorite. So if there's a particular brand that you're really interested in kind of following, you can mark that and that'll be on top of your
Mhm.
list. And then you could compare it to you, which is really cool.
Well, you can compare it to other I learned this the other day too, like, you can compare it to other competitors, and so I got a little bit wild and started pulling other people with content that I thought was super good, even if it wasn't in my industry, and then comparing them to each other to see, like, what the different styles were per industry, and if it, like, would reach the same like, if our demographic was the same age, like, how could we reach them in a better way, which I thought was, like, really fascinating.
Yes. So another great tool just to help you grow as a brand as well, which that's a great way to use it as well, Katie. So yeah, that is a quick rundown of Metricool. Very quick rundown.
Anyone else overwhelmed at this point? That was a solid we're doing good. Look at that, on the dot, an on the dot run through.
Did we have any questions on this before I stop sharing my screen, Katie?
I don't think so. If you guys have any questions, drop them in and I'll pull your screen off here in a little bit, but if you guys have questions, drop them in the chat and we can show you guys live. And while you guys do that, I'm gonna take your screen off real quick, Madeline.
Yeah.
Back to the two of us here. Yeah. So I was going to say, what we have in plan for you guys is that content calendar. I might make one. I know my guest ranches are usually on here as well from the Dude Ranching Association. So I might make one that's a little bit more specific to tourism and travel. Start thinking about seasons, things like that, campaigns, etc. It's a great way to have those little reminders in there. And then we also have a workbook that my executive assistant Emily is putting together for you guys, which again defines those content pillars, what you talk about, target audiences, who you're talking to, campaigns, why you're talking to them right now, and then how they all work together, how you can use that formula to build yourself a batch working situation with both ChatGPT probably first, and then Canva for your design. And then from there, it actually kind of goes into a content planning, your marketing strategy, how to read your analytics, and some bonus prompt guides. So it's pretty easy, pretty fun.
Um, yes, Metricool can link with Canva. So you can link your Canva and upload directly from there, which is actually a new feature. They just added that in the last month.
Yes, yeah. There's a lot of new stuff that keeps adding that I crack jokes about because I don't even notice because I've been like I was born in it, so I don't even remember it, so I don't even realize it's changed. And I'm like, oh, look at that, that's cool.
Yes, another thing I really love about Metricool is they're super educational. So if you do sign up or you go to their blog for their newsletter, they send really helpful emails. Sometimes they'll give you posting ideas. Sometimes it's just, here's some stats for different social media outlets and try to apply them to, whatever it is you're promoting. So Metricool, I really love the fact that they're super educational as well.
And I think there's a form like when you first initially sign up that like you can send your data to them. And I did it. It's your call if you want to do that. But at the end of the year, I believe it's them sends out the economic survey basically of like accounts of this size normally post about this much to see the most success or between these hours. And I'm like, perfect. Like those industry standards are just really good to see, just to keep in the back of your mind when you're building out your content planning and strategy. And like we said, like this whole thing is about AI and about how scheduling can be made easier with Metricool, but also like the content part is cart before the horse part, right? It's the cart. It's like the hard part, right?
Right. Perfect. If you guys don't have any other questions, I don't see any.
Yeah, I think, well, you guys have been really engaged, which I love that. Thank you guys so much. For everyone who's still on here. So we are doing 4 of these webinars and they're completely free. They're for everybody here. We've really enjoyed them. We've gotten really good feedback on them. So would love to know, we'll send this out in the email or you can drop it in the chat box. If you guys would like us to add some more of these seminars, and they can be marketing seminars, not just like AI tools, obviously. But we've got like social media content creation, like more in depth videos, influencer management, being an influencer, content creator, anything like that. If you guys have any ideas or topics, just throw them at us. We enjoy, we don't, I'm more extroverted than Madeline, but we make jokes that we like have to have an excuse to hang out with our friends. So you guys just giving us an excuse to hang out with each other and plan these out. So if there's anything you guys additionally want to see, and then on top of that, next seminar in 2 weeks, webinar here is going to be Flowdesk, which is what I use for emails. I'm going to show you guys like my template for how I build out my email planning, how I do it for like 3 to 6 months in advance. And I do email marketing for clients with 30,000 subscribers, down to like I think we have like 1,100 in my own personal, right? Like small accounts to big accounts, all the fun things. So we are going to be diving into all things emails and how to make your life a little bit easier with those with a very simple AI tool that we use. But yeah, it is a lot of information, JT. I totally agree with that. We will
And
be, you can always watch the YouTube video back too, which is always nice. And then I try to go back and put like the little timestamps in.
yeah. And Katie had mentioned it. If you guys want some personal help, we do offer a package. We've got some pretty flexible coaching and consulting packages that'll be included in the email that's sent to you. Again, you're not obligated to do that. These are for free. We want to help you. Social media and really marketing in general, there's always room for everybody. And so we just want to see you guys succeed in marketing your brands. And, but just know that that option's there if you want some personalized help as well.
Yeah, and those packages run like 400 to 1,200 depending on how much you guys want, but include hour-long meetings with us and then to-do lists, accountability, follow-up, and then support and step-by-step assistance if you guys have any issues with whatever it may be. And it could be a specific topic, could be a convention that you're running, could be influencers that you're managing for a campaign or anything like that. So lots of fun stuff, lots of things going on. We weirdly are really good at staying on time. maybe that's the rodeo queen has-beens in us. But any other questions before we sign off? We'll give it a pause for the cause. All right. I think that's I think that's all we wrote. All right. Thanks you guys for joining us. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks, but you guys will get an email by early next week. Have a good 3-day weekend if you have a 3-day weekend. If not, have a great 2-day weekend.
Have a great Memorial Day. Thanks for joining.